They say you've made it when you're in the big bright lights. While in those lights, people tend to forget you're human. Can Do Consulting presents Beyond the Bright Lights podcast.
Mr. Rutgers himself, Mr. Khaseem Greene. Welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Bright Lights with the Candias. I'm Dion.
And I'm Michelle.
And today we have a very special guest. No surprise to any sports fans in New Jersey at all.
No.
We have him, and he's going to talk to us about life, talk to us about his experiences as a father, experiences as a football player, and everything. So, without further ado, we have Mr. Rutgers himself, Mr. Khaseem Greene.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, you have been on this journey, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people know you through football. But when we came up with this concept of a show to go beyond the bright lights, we look for people who, maybe people, if they Google them, they'll see one thing. But from our personal experiences, we were like, this person has a lot more to offer.
Yeah.
People don't get to see.
Right.
So we help create this platform where we want to showcase like who Khaseem Greene is. You know what I'm saying? Not just a football player, because there's a lot of facets to you and a lot of things that you've learned. And I think it'll be very important and very impactful to share that with people.
But first of all, when the introduction, you said Mr. Rutgers. We have to really call him what he's really known for by his community and everybody. I know it's Elizabeth, but I know they have their own little, what do they call Elizabeth?
Eastwood.
Mr. Eastwood, excuse me. How you gonna trump Eastwood from Mr. Rutgers? You gotta say Mr. Eastwood.
Right.
His boys would be like, excuse me.
Absolutely.
I agree. Mr. Eastwood. I like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what's been going on?
Yes.
What's been going on with you?
Man, I'm still at it. I'm grinding hard, working, like you said, being more of a dad. You know, when you caught up in sports or school and stuff, you don't really get much time to balance everything.
Yeah.
So, you sacrifice in some areas, and I can admit that I sacrificed a little bit in that area. So I'm a full-time dad. Like I'm dropping my son off or picking him up from daycare. My daughter, she's in the 5th grade. Taking her, running her around, and then I got a 2-year-old that I got to take to the babysitter sometimes in the morning before I go to work or anything. So I'm doing a lot of things I didn't get to do the last 20 years of my life,
Wow.
like 15.
Wow.
15 years.
Wow.
So,
That's a grind.
That's fulfilling.
A grind.
That's fulfilling.
Yeah.
You know.
It is.
So let's start like this. You grew up in a tough area.
Yeah.
Not just in New Jersey, but Elizabeth is like known, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a tough area. And a lot of times people don't make it to the point where you made it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of kids out there that they aspire to get to the levels that you've been through, and they have similar upbringings.
Right.
But just talk a little bit about what it was like for you to try to manage life and then to stick with football as a young kid.
It was tough. It's tough because when you're a kid, like, you want to do all the kid things. So you want to be outside, you want to play. It's football season, but you want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to go skating, you want to do those things, and it's like, again, it's trying to figure out a way to balance it all. Like, I got to be at football practice soon as school is over, and then once school is over, me personally, I had to go in the house. Like my mom ain't play street lights.
Yeah, I
on,
know
you
your
in the house.
mom. Great,
Mom do
yes.
dog lady.
Street lights on, you better be in the house. And if you ain't in the house, you better be on that porch and you better ring the doorbell and let me know you're there, so I could check. You know
So that
what
was
I'm
your
saying?
first introduction to discipline.
Yeah, that was big.
My
time
Dukes
for me.
was the discipline.
That was the first coach. That was the first one.
And then you gotta also factor in like some of your friends not doing what you're doing.
Right,
So
right.
it's like, or you might like I grew up with my cousins. We were real close, so they going down their own path.
Right,
You
right,
like you
right.
trying to really figure out a way to spend a little bit of time and get in with everybody, and it's kind of hard. But like y'all, we all just said, my mom. If I had one person who really held it together and put the pieces in place, it was my mother. Cause when I say she didn't play, like I'm telling you, when practice was over, and I told her I was walking home, if I wasn't home by when them street lights came on, she was in the car coming looking for me. And I ain't want to get embarrassed like that. It happened to me. So
So let me ask you this: how did you get introduced to football? Like when was that? Like, cause I remember you played basketball too. You wasn't no slouch to the basketball.
Yeah.
Boy.
I was a late bloomer to basketball, to be honest. Like, I never played in the basketball leagues. Funny story, my freshman year in high school basketball, I rode the bench. Like, I only played when we was blowing people out. Literally, we was blowing people out, and my father came home, and the first basketball game he came to, Coach Mickens put me in right before halftime. So I went off on that in that game, but I really didn't play basketball. But I remember when I was 5, like I remember going to a football field and being around other guys and like running around, and I'm like, oh, like I'm playing football. Like it's a team thing. Like it's a thing now. Like I feel it. Like I remember it, and then it just took off from there. I literally, from 5 until the very last time I was on the field playing pro ball, it's just been nonstop football, and then you got room for other sports.
Yeah,
it was more football than anything. So.
Well, you talked about your mom, and I know your mom raised you, and you have how many siblings?
I'm the oldest. I got 11 siblings.
But in your house,
in my house, it was 6 of us.
It was 6
Yeah,
of
it
you.
was 6 of us. So.
And your mom was pretty much, she took care of everything.
Mom Dukes ran the house, man. I'm talking about like, I can't really speak of one other particular person, like, and that's no knock to the people who did.
Right? No.
Even my dad, my stepmom, people were there, but like my mom was that rock. Like she put everything together.
Right.
So,
So tell us a little bit about your dad. We hear about your mom. We know your mom.
Yeah,
we know your mom.
mom.
And I know Dion knows pretty much your dad and the family as well. But tell me a little bit about your relationship with your dad, your growing up. Just tell us a little bit of stuff about you and your dad.
My relationship with my dad, right now to this day, is great. Like, I'm really in a great place with my dad. It wasn't always like that. My dad's a great athlete, college athlete. I mean, he played at Purdue.
Okay.
Full scholarship. He was, he started it off. He was the first one to go full ride at Purdue.
Wow.
Had an injury, was done, and then, he just, like you said, Elizabeth was a rough time. So he turned to, what he knew or what he seen from being a kid, even though he was an athlete.
Right.
He had those cousins and siblings running around in the streets. So he got caught up in some things. He was in prison for a greater majority of my life. But like I said, we got a great relationship.
That's awesome.
The fact that he makes up for the time missed with me with my kids. So he loves and enjoys being a grandfather. It's like the most rewarding thing to me, because I know, and everybody says how great of a man he was, and should I say, not was, but how great of a man he is. So that's kind of like the background on my father. Like he really is a great guy, and
but he's really regarded to, like, sports-wise, as one of the greatest athletes to come from Elizabeth.
Athlete, man. I hear so many times people arguing and going back and forth about who was the greatest athlete to come out of Elizabeth.
His name would definitely be
always right there. Yeah. So I mean, like, my father got drafted in baseball. Like, he was a monster in baseball. And he was a monster at point guard in basketball.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was a 3-sport star.
Triple
like
threat.
A legit 3-sport star. So, man, I know athletically, I know where my brothers and I get all our skill sets from. So.
But that's in your family too, because your uncles, cousins, you got the Jacksons, and Malik, so you had it around.
He was always an athlete. We come from an athletic family. His father was one of the greatest athletes that ever come out of Elizabeth High School. Went on to play at Purdue University.
He never crawled. He started immediately walking. Very active, always into things.
Growing up, we played football, basketball, baseball. When we was younger, I would say I was better than him. But now he got me. He got me by a long shot.
With my family, we're all tight. We really just strive on being there for each other, loyalty, being able to count on each other. My family is pretty strong, and we have a really big family, both my mother's side and my father's side.
This family, no matter what, we always there together by each other's side 100%.
We're a close family that keeps chopping all the way to the end.
My father's side of the family is crazy when it comes to sports. Like, even my younger cousins that I just was going through the ranks watching, Jihad, like you said, Jihad, his brother Yadi, I see it, like they crazy, crazy. It's just something like it's just something in the blood, man. I don't know. And I got my Uncle Larry. Everybody know Uncle Larry. I never knew this about him. Uncle Larry was amazing boxer. Never knew that. Like, I never knew that. So. Everything. We got a lot of athletes in the family.
So with that, you have your cousins, you have your father, you have your family, you have them athletically, and then you have those that, involved with different things in the street. Tell me of the pressures that you had coming up. It's pressures of keeping from going to the street route, and the pressures of having family line of people that were great athletes. So tell me, what are the pressures that you felt?
It was a lot of pressure, and for me, it was like, cause I'm a family man, it was hard for me, cause I got some of my older cousins who really, in the streets, gang bang. On my path to going home, I gotta walk through, you know what I'm saying? I gotta walk through their, their areas. And it's like, I see my older cousin, outside, and he like, yo, Kyle, keep it moving. What's up? I love you. Keep it moving.
So you had those people that was kind of like that circle.
Right. I had a lot of cousins that was into the streets, but they all saw what, you know what I'm saying? Like, they saw the vision. They saw the potential. So it made it easier for me to stray away from it. At the same time, I'm not gonna sit and act like I was an angel. Like, I see my cousin fighting. I'm getting in the fight too. Like, I'm just not letting it go down. So I had my share, but I knew the one thing for me was, when I was in high school, or even in middle school, I remember one time vividly, my father had to go away, and he took me and my brothers, and he drove us home, but he had to talk with us, and he basically was just like, I gotta leave again, and like, this time it's really hurting me, because y'all at the point of y'all lives where, like, we not little kids no more. Like, we understand what's going on. And I kind of felt like he was sincere, like he really meant it. Like, it's hurting. I gotta go away, and I really don't want to.
It's hurting.
And I don't want y'all to ever be like this. Like, I don't want y'all to ever have to leave one another or have kids and leave y'all kids, because being away is the toughest thing.
Right.
And like, I remember when we used to go on the visits, and when we had to leave, like, him having to go line up, and then us going in another line, and just we looking over, and it's like, he was looking at us, saying stuff to us, but he really didn't want to like make that contact with us, because he knew he couldn't be with us. Excuse me. So for me, that was it. Like, I never felt like I needed to experience it, because my father always pushed, don't be here. Like, don't end up here. You don't want to be here. This is not where it's at. Like, so that helped me.
Do you feel like you use that in some kind of way to motivate, because it's not just you. You have another brother that was an excellent athlete that went to Pitt and did some great things there. So it was like, you know, a lot of times people have those situations in their families when the father leaves and then the kids just go completely down. But that was at the same time where y'all both was doing y'all thing. So did you use that as a springboard to like, let me grind harder?
It was definitely motivation, like having a brother going through the same thing that you're going through. And then not a lot of people know my brother Bash was actually pretty good at football. So he was real good at baseball, but he was good at football, so he was a quarterback.
He's underneath you.
He's right underneath me, and he's just above Ray. So you got to think, us three, we coming together like, I'm a senior, Bash a junior, Ray a sophomore.
Wow.
We all on the same football, like we all playing varsity, we all playing the state championship together. Like we all on the field at the same time. Like, so it was.
And all going through the same thing.
All going through the same exact thing. So it was like, one, it was competition because we competed a lot. Like, and I took pride in being the oldest. I had to be the one. Like, I had to be. We played in March Madness basketball league. I had to be the MVP.
Right.
Like, there's no way I could let one of my young brothers be the MVP. I got to be the MVP.
Right.
So that competition. That competition within our family actually helped motivate all.
Right, and pushed you all for greater things.
Man, I'm talking about, we compete, bro. I could be in the house, I throw something in the garbage can, and it's like a full war. Everybody just throwing something to get in the garbage can, like, I made it too. All right, well, we gotta keep playing until somebody this. Like, I can make this, I can do this all day. So, but it really molded us and helped us to get to where we got to. Like, the competition with one another helped us get where we got.
How is your bond now with your siblings, and especially the core three that you were just saying?
Unbreakable. And it's like, my brother, I was just saying, my brother, my younger brother, well, not my youngest brother, but one of my younger brothers, he grew up fast, so now he involved in, and then we got a god brother who involved in Zay.
So even though y'all, and that's the part that tears you, because you still have that you're pulling for them.
Once and then once it was the big three, and then turned into big five, and then it's like the big six. So it's like we all really molded into something that's unbreakable. I mean, like, it's really unbreakable. Like, the brothers and the sisters, like, my sisters are super duper tight, and then all of us come together. It's like, it's really unbreakable, and it's a good thing because, like, I could call my sister, I call my brother. I haven't talked to them in a long time. I could call him, and you never miss a beat.
Right.
And that's kind of like a real good thing. I got my brother. He running into some trouble. All right, let me reach out to him. Let me talk to him. Let me see if I can get in his head.
Wow.
And then he really, like, is soaked in, as opposed to, Mom, why you doing this? Or Pop, why you on my kids? Nah, big bro talking.
Right.
This us. Like, this ain't Mom and Pop. This. So
wow.
It really is something.
So you adversity wasn't, that wasn't no stranger to you, having adversity. So, but I know when you started, getting the recognition in high school, you wanted to go off to college, but then you had a little bump on the road. So it wasn't, you ain't had a traditional route to get to college. So
let's talk about that a little bit.
So high school, for the most part, I was a straight A and B student. My first 2 years. My junior year, I kind of started getting a little bit more involved with women, like with females.
Girls.
That comes to the athletes.
He said, wait a minute. What are women? What are women? He said women, so wait a minute. There might have been women.
They could be pulling up history and she was around the time. He was in high school. And all the stuff with the teachers and stuff.
At the time, they were girls.
Okay.
And then, so it kind of like, see it two here and there. So
you started slipping, losing focus a little bit.
And then senior year, boom, we come out the gate and win the state championship. And it's like, big man walking around campus. I slacked. I slacked real hard. So the
recruiters were coming.
They were.
But what Like, what was their response?
What happened was they see the dip, so they want to know. They want you to explain it. So you do a good job explaining it, but then you get hit with the, all right, well, what's your SAT score or ACT score? And it's like, what's what score? And then that's when now I'm playing catch up because
backpedaling, like,
yeah, I'm backpedaling because it's like, oh, what's the AC? Oh, I got to get on top of it. Like I should have had this done already. Like I should have taken this test already. And those are one of the things that I really didn't do. So when it came time to offering scholarships or I'm gonna commit to this school, it was just like you can't even get past clearinghouse. So we suggest you go JUCO or go prep or these are just our personal suggestions. And I just so happened I was on a traveling AAU team playing with a guy who was connected to the prep school I went to at Avon. They seen me playing basketball and they was like, yo, you think he good in basketball? He is like 3 times better in football. And then I caught my break. I caught my break because the school I went to, I'm telling you, the first time I went there, I thought I was about to be in the Harry Potter movie. And it's all boys, so
that was really that was a culture shock.
It wasn't hard, girl. Was it hard?
No, that was Avon. That's in Connecticut.
Yeah. Okay.
Avon Old Farms.
Okay.
So, but that experience, because now you're an urban kid, and then you go here, and you had to learn a little bit about life
and different
being
cultures,
on your own and away from
being with no girls, different cultures. Talk about that a little bit. How did you feel once you got into that environment?
I was struggling. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was
the times that you felt like you gotta come on. You know what? Because I deal with a lot of the youth too.
Yeah.
And some of them, they have opportunities, but they're just like, they think of all the things that they're missing out on.
Right.
And at some point, you gotta transfer in your head that this is just business now.
And it's I got
to. So how did that?
I would definitely agree with you now. On that,
but at that age,
I was like the kids that you talking about.
It's a culture shock.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The first day I'm up there, I'm like, Ma, we not unloading the car. Like, I'm not staying here. Like I can't do this. She like, just give it a week. Just give it a try, whatever. And like I got a scholarship, so I ain't have to pay. I only paid like $800 for my books, so I really didn't have to pay for nothing. Or my mother at that day didn't have to pay for nothing. So. I'm like, all right, a week go by, I'm like, Ma, I cannot do, I can't do this. It's like 5 black people here. Like, everybody else, father-owned Coca-Cola.
Right. I know.
Father got a jet company.
Yeah. Wealthy kids,
I can't even get home. Like, bus ticket $50. I can't even get. I can't even give you $50 to get home right now. Like, how you expect me to stay here? And then like, when I put that wall down, my roommate Matt Goods, he was from East Orange.
Okay.
And like, we both was dealing with the same thing, being from the urban area.
A little homesick.
We started getting into fights and stuff. Like, we would go to dances where the girls was at, and like, we see the school that we played last week or something, just get into fights or whatever.
So you kind of brought your environment. You brought your environment.
Same mentality. You brought it with you there.
Yep, brought it with me and kept it with me. But what happened was they ended up kicking my roommate out. And that was just like, dang. That kind of opened my eyes because we was like this. And we like really understood each other. So when he left, I was in the room by myself, and it made me realize, like, dang, like I gotta use this to get to where I want to be.
Right.
Like, there's no other way around it. I cannot be up here acting like I'm in the hood and I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know how to deal with me. They ain't had nobody like us around.
Right.
So, and I just was lucky that he was balling too, but I was like on another level at that prep school. So I think they made the decision to kick him out, and they made the decision to put me on probation. So I couldn't leave campus. Like I couldn't go on none of the trips. Yeah, I had restrictions. I couldn't go on none of the trips, Six Flags, none. I couldn't do nothing but go eat, sleep, football, class, and back into your room. Like that's all I could do.
Well, when you think about it now, that probably saved me from a lot.
Absolutely.
Saved you from a lot.
If I got kicked out of that school and had to come back home to Elizabeth, that probably would have been a repeat of my dad, to be honest with you. Like it would have been, I don't know where I would have been because I hadn't took the SAT over prior to being there, so I would have just been lost. I'd have been lost. So
well, so that school they invested in you.
Yeah.
They had some investment.
Yeah.
That even shows that they didn't let you go when they probably could have.
They could have. They definitely could have. Like I legit. Anything, whatever he did, I did. So like whatever I did, he did. So we literally was sitting there with the dean of the school and everybody in front of everybody with the same exact things. 3 fights at 3 different events, including an event at our school.
Wow.
So I think I was doing a little. I might have been doing a little better than him in school, maybe. I don't know.
Or you might have been a more exceptional athlete.
Yeah, probably.
Because
that.
you know they'll make tolerances for
probably that. I don't know, but. Either way, they ended up giving my man the boot, and they saved me. Like, and I keep in touch with Coach Driscoll, who was my coach.
Okay.
He retired from football now, but he's still with the school.
Okay.
And, some of my teammates, Blaze, a kid Langley. I keep in touch with those dudes because Joe D'Amelio, one of my best friends. Like we getting ready to go to Miami for his birthday.
Okay. And look at that.
These dudes were like really. Like something happened at Avon. Something happened while I was up there, and it kind of like made me into a man.
Yeah, it exposed you to more than what it was that you were used to. You was used to being in a neighborhood where you saw predominantly all black children. You saw they were all living pretty much the same type of lifestyle in the sense of the parents made a certain type of money, or maybe it wasn't 2 parents, maybe it was 1 parent. Then you go off, and now you're introduced to, wait a minute, there's another life outside of right here, you know. And it's like, it's not these kids' fault that their parents are wealthy. It's not these kids' fault that they're able to be in these types of situations. So how can I learn, and how could they learn from me? So when the 2 worlds collide, you're able to teach one another, and look at the bond that you have now years later.
Yeah, it worked out.
That's awesome.
It was some wealthy people out there. Oh my goodness.
Anytime you can pay to go to these types of schools and they don't have scholarships, they wealthy.
Costs like $70,000 to go there right now without a scholarship.
Oh, like, and that's like college.
I ain't trying, like, that number might be a little bit up, but not that far.
No, it's up there. It's up there.
A lot of those schools are like that.
It's up there.
You know, but
I remember my mom too, like, not to cut you off.
No,
when we went on our visit, my mom, like, they showed like the tuition and stuff, and my mother was like, I can't pay for this.
So she didn't really know like they was gonna help out.
I was like, oh yeah, we can't pay for this. Like, but then, boom, I walked into a scholarship though. But
so when you were there, right? And I heard this story because I used to talk to Jamil. So Jamil coached with me. And he was actually mentioning you there and different things. And we know you end up going to Rutgers. But Rutgers almost lost you to UConn because they was playing around.
Rutgers was I'm telling you, like, I was like literally in the door with UConn. Like I was at the game every week, like every home game they had, I was there. Like I literally was committed. If you could have asked me to sign a paper, I probably would have signed it to UConn. But like I said, Rutgers came in late. Coach McNulty, who recruited me, came down to see me, and they like, yo, we want to get you in for a visit. Like Shiano making it a priority. Like we want to have you in there. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, all right, whatever. And then I come home, I fly home, and then I go on a visit, and I'm just like, dang, this is all right. Like this a little. This could be worth it.
Did they treat you right? That's
amazing. I think my mother might have committed for me, to be honest. Like my mom might have committed before I did.
You knew that was it. If mom committed, that was a
deal already.
We're not even asking him.
On the visit, I promise you, I think my mom committed before me. And then I went and met and talked with Shiano, and then was just like, dang, I want to stay home. Like I could do this, but it was hard though, because New Brunswick and Elizabeth ain't that far away. Like it's not that far away. So one of my things was like, mom, dude, was like, you're not coming home. Like you're gonna stay up there. I don't care what you got going on. You're gonna stay up there. We'll come see you, and if your friends really are friends, they'll come see you. So I was like, all right, that's cool. Then I'm like, dang, I want to take a couple more visits. But she like, but then I had found out about my daughter at the time.
She had a baby.
I had a baby on the way, so it was kind of like it worked out perfectly.
Right.
It worked out perfectly. So But yeah, Rutgers almost lost.
Yeah, I was like, they mess around.
It almost ain't happened.
Yeah. But mom must have worked something out. Because I remember too, like, you know, going up to some of those games. I remember one time here, and we was walking into the stadium, and people were talking about tickets or whatever. And then it was just like, your family came deep. And then everybody was like, moving away, because they said, that's the Green family.
Oh,
your little cousins and nephews, everybody had your jerseys on.
It was
and
so
everybody, it was just like they moved out of the way for your family.
I ain't played.
It was about 30 of them.
Yeah, it was
True story.
They
True
traveled
story. Deep. My brother Bashir could walk into a game right now and all the security people gonna know him. Like, he might not even have a ticket to get down on the field or nothing like that. They gonna let him on the field. So like, Rutgers treated my family real good. But my mother, you know, mom do, like I said, she don't play. She must have put her foot down like that first year I started playing. She must have put her foot down like, look, I'm Mama Green, and Kyle said the tickets is here for us, so they here. Like, it don't matter if they're here or not. Everybody I'm with gonna get in the game. But they treated her like that. And that's the thing I loved about that. Like, it was all family. Shiano brought that concept of family, and it really played out like that. Like, this is our family, and we gonna do as such. So
absolutely. All right, so we're gonna take a little break, but then we want to talk about you being this big man on campus. It was crazy going to the games and what it's like on the Jumbotron.
It was.
And it's just like you brought that stadium to another level.
Yes, another level.
So we're gonna take a little break, and we're gonna talk about what it was like being on campus, being Mr. Khaseem Greene.
We living and dying together, like you said. Are you on three? 1, 2, 3. Are you?
My name is Khaseem Greene. I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. I play linebacker, and this is our football.
Khaseem Greene is definitely a leader.
Hey, y'all boys, pick it up right now, G.
Just how he carries himself through any situation.
He's always speaking out, very vocal.
He's very smart.
He's a hard worker, a leader.
Great player, best friend.
Someone I look up to.
He has unbelievable speed, and he's just very intense.
He's just cool.
All-American, hard hitter, and stuff like that. That's how I see Khaseem Greene.
So now, you're at Rutgers. You're on the campus. All right. Now we're gonna fast forward it just a little bit, because you're making a name for yourself. And I heard another podcast where they were saying, and it's a great question, you know, that time when you realize that, you know what, I could do something with this. Like, because it's a big jump from high school, then the prep, but then, you know,
it's a big stage.
The state university.
It's a big stage,
what was the time when you was just like, you know what,
this could be a career.
I could, you know, when did it hit you?
Oh man, like coming into my junior year. So what really hit me was I was always around the ball, but one particular year I had 3 interceptions, and then I was watching. It was a safety that I was following closely, Nate Allen. He played at South Florida, and if you remember Jerome Murphy from Elizabeth, he was at South Florida. So that's kind of how I like really kind of place myself as far as a DB, because at that time
that was the parameter.
So I only it was either Murphy or Nate Allen, who was one of the best DBs in the Big East at the time. And so when he left school, I compared myself to him as a safety, and I literally was either right by, like 1 or 2 tackles off, 1 or 2 interceptions off, or we was tied. So, and then he got drafted in the 2nd round. So I'm going into my redshirt junior year, and I'm like, yo,
start playing in your head.
This
like,
dude just got drafted in the 2nd round with numbers that are just identical to mine. And I'm like, and I was a redshirt sophomore. So I'm like, oh, I like I could, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm legit. Like I could do this, and then the agents start picking at picking at my family, picking at my mom, picking at my uncle, and then that word got to me, and it kind of was like, okay,
they asking,
like they asking, like I must be doing something. They asking, they want to know, so I'm gonna give them all the answers they want, and that's kind of what I did. My redshirt junior year, prior to me breaking my ankle in the bowl game, was amazing. It was amazing. I'm like, co-Big East Player of the Year with Derek Wolf. He's still playing in the league right now. And then it's like, I broke my ankle, but it's coming into my senior year, and I know the grand finale gonna be crazy.
Wow.
And everybody talking, they doubting me. Oh, he broke his leg. Can he come back? Can he come back? Can he be better? Was this year a fluke?
Right.
I think I had 140 tackles or something like that. My redshirt junior year. So it's like, was it a fluke? Can he do it again?
In 2011, Greg Schiano, the head football coach at the time, made a critical decision. Schiano decided to move then free safety Khaseem Greene to weak side linebacker. Greene went on to make 127 tackles and record 3 sacks, winning the Big East Co-Defensive Player of the Year award. Coming into the 2012 season, Greene was named a preseason All-American. Greene hoped to help lead the Scarlet Knights to their first ever Big East championship.
You did something, and I heard this, that not only at Rutgers, but in a conference, right? The Big East, which is no slouch.
Yeah.
You went back to back as Defensive Player of the Year. And that's never been done in that conference.
Never been done. Back to back.
I don't know if anywhere.
I was going to say, has it been done anymore?
I don't know.
But that,
I don't
that's
know.
crazy.
I would have to actually Google that. But yeah, I did it back to back, and then like to do it for the second time, it was just like, to me, it was like, yeah, all right, like y'all was talking before the season started.
Yeah.
Now what y'all gonna say? Like, ain't nothing y'all can say now because I did it again.
And you've been used to doing it from when your siblings was young, when you used to challenge each other then.
Yeah.
So when you get to this point, it's like, y'all just don't know. This is just what I do.
It was nothing for me. It was funny because at it was a dude, C.O. Moore. He was a linebacker for UConn, and so going into our senior year, he was like, "Yo." I think we talked on Twitter. It might have been Twitter. And he was like, "Yo, I guarantee you, I'm gonna have more tackles than you." Like, and I'm like, "Nah, bro, you ain't gonna have more tackles." So we made it a competition.
Wow.
He and I made it a competition,
That's
and
great.
like, I ended up having more tackles than him and winning the Player of the Year again. So it was like it was a win for me, man. It was a win, and like, man, I had some fun doing it too. So.
Well, I thought that you probably knew that you made it when you felt like Bon Jovi coming out of the tunnel. I thought that was the time when I thought you knew that you was it, because come on.
Coming into the stadium and seeing all them number 20 jerseys.
That's crazy, right?
For me was like crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. And then like, anytime my name, like anytime I made a tackle or a sack or anything, and my name was said, or like anything with the defense, it just felt different. Like it felt like, I can't even explain how it felt. But it really, off the field, is more of the feeling that I had when I was just like, dang, like I'm somebody. Because walking around College Ave, or going to get a
downtown area,
going to get some food down there, or the food.
You probably paid for nothing.
Man, I had some time. I had some good times. I had some good times there, man. I'll just say that. But I mean, it was, that was a wild ride, man. It was awesome.
let me ask this, because it's kind of going to shift gears. We know when you were playing, a great friend of yours, he suffered a terrible injury. And Eric LeGrand.
Yep.
And I know you guys were close. And talk a little bit, like, how did that affect you, even mentally? How did you, like, what?
I was gone. I was gone. And he'd tell you, because he had to reach out to me, like, football for me was done. Like, I did not want to play ball. And it showed in the games. It showed when I went to tackle.
Now, when that game happened, was that was in the beginning?
Against Army. It was against Army.
Was it? Where at in the season?
We were 4-0. Was it 4-0?
Okay, so it was towards the beginning. So you still had to go the rest of the schedule.
Yeah, we still had to go. I think we lost the next 8. I want to say. Yeah, I think we lost the next 8 games. Like, we started, I'm pretty sure we were 4-0 going into that game. And we lost, or 3-0 going into that game, because we ended up winning that one. So we were 3-0 going into that game. and we lost every game after that.
Well, keep talking about, expound more on just the mental of what that does.
I was done. I was done. And Eric was my roommate at the time. We had a house off campus. It was me, Eric LeGrand, and Devin Watkins, who was an offensive lineman. Our house was so like turned up because we upstairs from us was a group of engineer majors at Rutgers.
Wow.
Yeah, and when I tell you that these dudes, we went to a away game, came home, and the garage was like it was trash. Like it was a garage. And it was trash. They fixed it up. Put Christmas like lights all around it. And we came home from the game, and they was having a full out party.
Wow.
And we joined right in with the party. So our house was so like the spirit of our house was always good. And like we had this thing in our house, E Legis, because he imagine a 6'2", 275-pound D lineman, all muscle, running around with a wife beater and briefs on.
I don't want to imagine it.
No, you don't gotta imagine. Whenever he cooked, whenever he ate, whatever, that's all he would literally come out. He didn't care who was there, he would come out like that. Like yo,
the guy,
come on, bro, you out in your E Legis, man. And that turned into a thing.
Like Big Rames on Baby Boy.
Exactly. So that kind of turned into a thing for us. We're like, we named that hookup the E Legis. Like, bro, you can't be coming out in your E Legis. I got my boys over from home, you feel me? But he ain't care.
Yeah.
So to not have that energy, like for to have that 1 week, and then you come home after a game, and then that back room empty.
Yeah.
And it's just you and your boy, and we just sitting on the couch, and we super sad. This after being at the hospital for his 10-hour surgery. To see him once he come out of the first surgery that he had to get, like. It was tough, and then you also got to factor in like we young men. We don't really. We in college. We having the time of our lives.
Right.
We don't know how to, like, for me, I didn't know how to register that. Like I didn't know how to, and it's crazy because I had done lost friends. Like I done had friends get killed when I was in high school and stuff. But to have a teammate and a brother not be able to physically do something. But he's like physically still here. And he's the life of the party. Party, weight room, practice. His energy is just so. It's like I can't even explain it. So to see that, it was just like I just didn't want to do it. And I remember E text me after a game. I might have missed like 8 tackles that day. I think we was playing Cincinnati. In Cincinnati, and I think I missed like 7, 8 tackles, but I looked bad, like I looked real bad on TV, and he was just like, "Yo, you hitting like a girl, bro. Like you all you doing is throwing your body in there, like, bro, you don't tackle like that." And I'm looking at my phone like, "Dang, E coming at me kind of hard right now," but the fact that he coming at me, he doing the same thing he was doing if he was here.
I think
if he was out there playing,
he has one of the strongest spirits. And and they talk about sometimes, they don't allow things, God don't allow things to happen to people, you know what I'm saying, that can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? And you don't wish that on anybody. But for him, you know what I'm saying? And even like now what he's doing now, speaking and commentating and being a spokesperson, he even got like endorsements and stuff like that.
Endorsements. He done won some crazy amount of like awards, recognition, and the thing that I'll say is that the light that he's in right now, he never would have been in playing football. He would have been in light.
Right.
But he would have never
his
been.
His impact, his reach wouldn't have been as strong.
And all that stuff. Nah, he would have never been able to affect as many people the way he's doing it now. It's like that's like motivation for me. Once I got that text from him, then I went and seen him and we joked about it and stuff like that. It kind of changed my whole outlook on life. And like, if anybody asks me to be like, "Yo, who a hero for you? Who like? I'm like, I got a living hero, and one of my best friends, that's Eric.
Right.
Because I personally don't think I would be able to do what he's doing.
Yeah,
like
that's tough.
He's still the same Eric.
Yeah.
Wow.
Given his his circumstances and situation, like he's still the same him. He still make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
He's still crazy funny, like with his jokes. If we go out, he's still gonna get crazy drunk like he would. And somebody just got to control it. But that's E.
Yeah.
So to see him doing that, it's like for me, that's motivation. I always tell everybody like, yo, when I went, when my hardest times came about in my life, like just recently, yo, what make you keep going? My family, God first, what I believe in.
Yes.
And then my man Eric, like, I really think about Eric every day, like, yo, what he would give or do to be able to just reach out and hug his mother.
Right,
Cause shout out to Mom Deuce, Miss LeGrand, she's super strong.
Her spirit and her faith is incredible.
And it's no wonder why he is the way he is. Eric, man, he's special. He been special. Cause he was a defensive tackle running down on kickoff. And getting down there first, tackle, and making but that wasn't like that was normal for him. Like that was the norm, and that was the norm. And we played on the same side too. I just so happened to get taken off kickoff that week. Or I'd have been right next to him.
Wow.
So that was crazy.
And one of the things that we talk about, even like the whole premises of the show, is beyond the bright lights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to showcase and highlight, people that have names, but they do things outside of whatever sport it is, entertainment and stuff like that. And that's just a great example of someone, you know what I'm saying? When things happen, situations happen, you find your calling, you find your purpose. And so many young people, they just hang their hats on a sport. And they don't understand that sport is to springboard you somewhere else. And you get locked on. It's actually kids that in high school that they don't make it, and they just shut down. They think their life is over. You know what I'm saying? Like football, and even if you go pro and you do that, you know what I'm saying? It's things that that stuff's gonna end. Your life gotta continue. You know what I'm saying?
Gonna end, definitely.
And even talking a little bit before we even go to that, I want to talk a little bit about in college. Still backing up in college a little bit. Did you have challenges with trouble? Did you have challenges with anything off the field while you were in college?
Nah,
because
I was good while I was in college. I had one incident. People who was there know about this. People who wasn't there don't know about it.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
I can't.
It's over with.
He's 30 years old. He's a grown man.
Shiano ended up finding out about it. So I had one incident where I was at a basketball game. My younger brother he was playing up with the older guys a little bit, like a year or two older than him, and he was getting into it with a kid on the court. And so,
wait, where was the basketball game at?
It was in Elizabeth, in Bayway.
So you came back home?
The gym. I came home my sophomore year.
Back in Eastwood.
I came home.
Did your parents know? Your mother knew you was
My mother
home?
was there. She was at the game. And I'm overprotected. I'm the oldest. My brother getting ready to fight on the basketball court. And he go to take his shirt off. So when he go to take his shirt off, the kid rush him. And I'm 2 rows from the court, and I'm sitting there like, make a split decision. Do I let this kid just beat my brother up because he got his shirt over his head, or do I do something? And the old me, I did something.
You kicked in.
I one punch, knocked the kid out, but it was bad because it was a full gym. I was in that light already. The kid was out and he hit it back of his head. So I would like people. If you was in the gym, you probably was scared because they didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And so it was a bad situation. And I know how it got to Coach Shiano, but I'm not gonna say who got it to him. But Coach Shiano ended up finding out. And so he was like going to suspend me. Like I actually got charges pressed against me too. But the kid ended up dropping them. It was more like his mom had went up there to press the charges or whatever, but he ended up dropping them. So it kind of worked out. But had it not worked out, then everybody would have known about it because it would have been all over the place.
Right.
So, but beside that though, that was it.
Good.
I mean, we got a couple incidents at school, a couple bar fight, a little fraternity. We got in something with a fraternity one time at a party.
It was always the football players against the fraternities. And
but the thing is, like, we was with one fraternity because a couple of my teammates was with that fraternity.
Okay.
And then it was going against another fraternity, so it was crazy. But we made light out of it because the two sides ended up. The word got to our football coach and then to like the dean of students or something. We ended up meeting and resolving it as young men should.
Yes.
And then it worked out. Everybody was able to party and be around each other, no problems, no issues. So it worked out, but I never been in trouble. Never ever been in trouble. And while I was in college, that anything that affected me. So two stories so somebody could learn from it.
Absolutely. Because it could have went either way. It could have went either way. They could have kept the charges pressed. It could have went that whole route, and your story would have been a little different. All from a decision.
One bad decision.
One bad decision. That's it.
Is one bad decision.
One bad decision. There's people that are not here anymore because of a decision. There's people that are in jail the rest of their life because of a decision. So there's people that are in situations with women or men because of one decision. So I mean, we really have to think about the decisions that we make.
Absolutely.
So you made it through college. All right, so now you have this opportunity. You know, stellar career at Rutgers. So now some decisions have to be made. And now you get through the training and combines and stuff like that. So now it's draft time. So tell about that experience, the whole, you know, the leading up to it. Is it like how? I know for a lot of people, what I see is one of the most, what they would say, stressful situation we've seen when people went to the actual events and they're sitting at the table, cameras in your face, all these expectations. So the whole process, even from the way they evaluate you to, you know, you waiting for a call. What was that like?
It was stressful. It was stressful because so much is like fixated on the combine. How fast can this kid run? What are his measurables?
Forget about that you was two-time.
Forget about any of that. Because if I literally legit, this is a legit argument. If I was at LSU or at Florida or FSU, Miami, anywhere besides the Rutgers with what I did, I'm first rounder. No brainer. Absolutely. No brainer. First rounder.
Oh yeah.
But because I played in the Big East, now I got to go run a 4.5, 4.4, 4.5, and do all this just to get into the first round. So it was stressful. And then I'm not a tester.
Right.
I'm legit just not a tester. Like, so you could line me up as many times as you want to run a 40 or to do, the L drill on the stuff. And it's not going to look good. But if you put me on that football field, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. That's just how football is. Put me on that. I don't believe in 40 times and all that stuff. Can this kid get out there and play? Because I done seen some guys who run the fastest 40s, and you get them all this money in the first round, and they'll never pan out. So it was stressful to say the least, because from the bowl game straight to training, from training I go play in the All-Star game, from the All-Star game back to training to the combine, interviews and a million medical things, mental, physical, everything.
It's almost like they
excruciating. They poking at you. They poking at you. They measuring you. They want to take IQ tests for football. All this crazy stuff that for me, really don't equate to football. But they want to do all of that, and then they expect you to go perform after sleeping for 6 hours in 3 days, or 2 days, whatever it is, before you do the on the field stuff. So it's like, how I'm supposed to do that? So it's tough. But then once you get through that, and then you get to chill, you get to relax a little bit. But it's like you can't take too much time off to yourself, because the draft would be in a month, but then you get a week or two after the draft, depending on where you get drafted, and you report down to the team. So it's man, if you go through that, it's stressful. It's exhausting. Man, I could go on for days about it, but at the end of the day, when you chasing your dream and it's something that you want,
absolutely,
you gotta go through it, especially if you're good enough, or if they say or they think that you're good or not good enough. Cause like for me, my biggest thing was I thought I ran fast at the combine, but I ran slow. My electric times are 4.7. So it was like 4.7 for a linebacker that's 6 feet, 6 feet and a quarter with my heels together and my shoes off, like flat-footed. So I'm already behind the 8 ball. Like I'm feeling like, all right, I'm behind the 8 ball. And then now all the pressure is on me to run fast at pro day to try to get myself in. Forget, like you said, that I won the biggest
accolades,
All-American, every All-American
because you're
list
competing now against other people that may have accolades and all of those
but
different
sometimes
things.
it's just the name wins.
Just the name.
Well, it's the same for the high schools too. We know it from coming from the high school. We went through it.
You
know, the kid coming from Linden High is not the same as a kid coming from these private schools.
St. Peter's and all that.
Absolutely. We went through it. That's right.
You line us up in front of them, we're gonna smash them.
That's right. That's
every time. I remember back in high school when we used to play like Bergen Catholic and stuff. Put us in front of them, and we're gonna show you why. Yeah, we don't play in that conference, but we're gonna show you why we win state championships
Absolutely.
here.
That's
or
right.
why our conference is so tight at the end of the year of who gonna be in what seed and what place. Because it's good football.
That's right.
But yeah,
that's right.
that whole process heading to the draft is stressful, but it pay off when you get that call.
Right.
Now,
So talk a little bit about draft day.
Yeah.
The day, like.
I'm not gonna lie, draft day was stressful too, because you got 3 days to hear your name or not hear your name. So the first round go by and it's like I talk with my agent. It'd be a reach to be in the first round. So I kind of knew I wasn't.
Okay.
Then the second day go by and that's kind of where everybody see you at, like a third round guy. So then I have a little draft party. I'm sitting there, you know, and I'm Fox and Hound, all my people's with me. I'm thinking I'm gonna hear my name, and then that last pick of the third round come and no call. So it's kind of like.
Now at that time, did you feel like maybe it was something in the interview or some background thing that kind of caught up to you? I remember I'm just like, and I was looking too. I was just like, there's no way. I said it must be
this
something.
one went, that one went.
I felt like, in all honesty, you know, Shiano had took the job at Tampa Bay, so I kind of felt like maybe something came up that they may not have known, but Shiano might have. I don't know. I don't know.
You just start thinking everything.
Yeah, you start thinking everything. So I don't know, and I'm not gonna say that he did or he didn't, but
your thought process.
I just don't know. Like, again, I'm here because I want to put my story out there. I talk to kids or whatever. I had a couple drug tests in college. They never came out, but I failed a couple drug tests in college for smoking marijuana. So I had a feel like as I'm not getting drafted, I'm like, damn. I wonder if she ain't
caught up.
Like, damn, he might have put that around there. You know what I mean? So.
But what would the benefit been for him to do that?
I don't know. We had like a love-hate relationship. But that's my guy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. That's my
but
guy.
I get what you're saying.
I don't know what the benefit for him is, to be honest. Because it ain't like, you know, like he drafted me.
Right.
So I really don't know what the benefit is. But I do know that these things that might not come out are on file. And when it comes to the NFL, like they're gonna do the most, you know, the thoroughest background check on the kid before they invest in you.
Right.
So if you done something, or if it came up, or if it was record of it, it's probably gonna come up. Like they're probably gonna know it. And then as a kid, it's hard for you to sit there in an interview and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I failed a drug test that never came out to the public.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that. If you don't know, I'm not telling you.
Right.
Like that's just me. So, but I mean, my phone rang in the 4th round pretty early, and it was a weight off me. Like I got to experience what it's like to get the call.
Wow.
To see my mom crying, to cry with my mom, my siblings, like to see everybody excited when my name was on the TV. Like it was a dream come true for me. Like I dreamt of that day my entire life. So for me, it didn't matter if I was in the 4th round, I went in the 7th round, whatever round. Like I could actually say that I live my dream.
That's right.
Yeah. So that whole transition now, because they say it's a big jump, we know, from high school to college, but then after a while you found your way through college. But now you go here, they fly you into Chicago, and I'm sure they slapped this big playbook. So welcome to the NFL.
Yeah, welcome to the NFL. You get an iPad. Actually, we had the iPads, but you do get a physical copy of it. So
he's a little older,
yeah,
so you know he knows the
No, we had the book though. We had the book too though.
He told his age real good. You get this, and they slap it up. Don't try to help him out. Don't try to help him out, Khaseem.
we really do have there's some guy like we had older guy like when I came in, Lance was there. Lance had been in the league for 12 years already. So he was in the beginning, and then he seen technology. Some of these older guys be like, nah, like, yo, I want the paper, like I want the book. I don't want this. I don't even know how to work the iPad. Like Julius Peppers, like these dudes is like DJ Williams, James Anderson, like these dudes are old.
Right.
Like,
They don't know anything about all. They had
been there from the beginning. They've been for 13 years, 14 years plus. Like they want the book.
Right.
Like, they don't want this iPad.
They want what they used to.
So what was the eye-opening thing for you though? When you was like, wow, the NFL is like the real deal.
Yo, Julius Peppers is 6'6", 6'7", 309 pounds.
Wow.
Like 4% body fat, and I watched him run down a wide receiver from the D-line in practice.
Wow.
That's what was wild for me.
I was trying not to be a spectator.
I'm trying to imagine it myself.
I'm kind of like, what the heck? Or Lance. I'm behind Lance Briggs at the time, and like, Lance was probably one of the only players
before you, right?
No. John Bossa got drafted in the second round. Lance Briggs is a Hall of Famer, first ballot. Once he played for 14, I believe it was 13 or 14 years, and I was behind him. But Lance used to do some stuff on the field that was not technically sound by the coaches, but he made a play. And when he did something that's wrong, he made a play. Like it was just like, Lance, you.
All right,
man. You tackle for loss with a fumble. Okay, like I'll take it. Like whatever. Like you can't. So seeing him, like being able to see him and Julius Peppers and then Peanut Tillman with the peanut punch. Man. My football life was like crazy in Chicago. Like I've really done and seen it all. Definitely done and seen it all.
So we're going to talk a little more about that, and then we're going to catapult into Khaseem afterwards.
Okay. Yes.
The man.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so we're going to take a little break. Okay, so now let's get into, we talked about some of the sports related things in NFL, but what are some of the things that, you know, probably are behind the scenes, you know, because a lot of times these young kids, they want to get in the NFL, they want to be professional athletes, but there's certain things that you got to deal with, and certain ways you got to carry yourself, and then sometimes you be like, well, you know, I get to do what I want, but as long as you had that contract, you have some kind of restrictions or limitations.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when you, for me, and it's just anybody, when you get to the NFL, like you're watched under a certain scope.
Yeah.
And it should really start before that, but it's not as forced as it is in the NFL, because anything you do or say, like, you know how they say with police, anything you do or say is used against you. Anything you do or say when you're a part of that elite fraternity in the NFL is used against you. If I'm a guy who likes being in the headlines, I tweet and I tweet crazy, and you better believe I'm going to be on ESPN, the bottom ticker, or wherever they may put me with my tweet. If I choose to get a DUI or any of those type things, like, you're gonna be in the headlines. So you gotta watch, you gotta watch what you do and say. You're supposed to watch and do what you say, and a lot of times you could get lost in that too, like just transitioning to myself. And I know y'all know this about me, but I'm a Muslim. I'm an African American man, I'm a Muslim man. And
now, when did you convert?
For me, I converted. I want to say the same year, my rookie year. So I believe it was 2013.
Okay.
In February 2013.
Okay.
And like I said, I was a rookie. And I wasn't really practicing. Like I did it because I wanted to, but I wasn't like really practicing. I wasn't like verbal about it. Like I wasn't, because I was trying to hide it, because I was trying to fit into that light or into that scope. Like this is not what they see for me. Like they don't want Muslims in this industry. Like that kind of what I felt. But there was older guys who were much older than me that did it. But for me, I personally felt like I can't just come out and just be
free with
be free with my faith. And it was because I just didn't know. I didn't know would it be accepted or not. So that kind of was kind of like a sensitive, thing for me while going through it. So I remember in the locker rooms when they would do the prayers before the game, and I would get there and I would hold hands with everybody and I would like try to fit in, and I would just be in my head, I'd be like, dang. Like when everybody's saying what they say, I never said anything. Like we would go around in a circle and everybody would say something, and I literally just not said anything. And then some of the guys, started to notice, and they started asking me, and I'd just be like, yeah, I'm Muslim, man, but team, her, like, it was like, man, you ain't gotta do that. Like, you don't, if that's not what you believe in, and that's not what you don't gotta feel like you gotta do that. And I'm just like, man, I ain't trying to upset nobody. From upstairs to, to my teammates. So it's, like I said, it's a scope you under,
right?
And it's.
So is it? Do you think that happens often? Like, it's people that have beliefs and they just kind of like.
I believe there's a lot of guys in the NFL, and they don't just have to be Muslim. There's a lot of guys in the NFL who believe in certain things that they just don't expose. For instance, there's a study. I don't know who came up with this study, but they say in every locker room there's one gay guy. In every locker room they say that there's one gay guy. And I'm just, for me, that was like I was like shell shocked, because I'm like, dang, I done been in a couple locker rooms, so who was the guy? Like, not that
I remember such and such, and he's still there a little too long in the shower.
And it's crazy, like, not that I got anything against it, but it's just like,
but you start now,
that's really a true statistic. Who was the guy? I would like to know who the guy was. And then you get, like you said, you get to those days where you be like, all right, well, that dude was joking too much in the shower instead of washing. Could have been him or this guy. Like,
but the whole thing is too is if that is, what I'm saying, nothing that you agree with, but that's that person's preference. It's sad that you have to be, under that, what I'm saying, that thing where you can't freely,
you gotta hide.
Like, that is going to stop you from doing your job.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's the person's preference.
That is going to stop you from doing your
not
job.
Physically,
not physically, but that still is not something in the NFL that they.
No, but I'm just saying though, you can still be a dominant player, and still have that.
We know that you can, but that stigma doesn't go along with, because what was the young man that got into the league and shortly after he wasn't in the league and he was came out openly.
Michael something or Michael Sams.
Yeah, Michael Sams. Yeah, and he was openly and he had a little platform and everything, but he wasn't in the league long.
No, he wasn't.
The league wasn't ready for that.
Nah, they weren't. He was real dominant in college, but he didn't pan out. He didn't pan out in the league. But you remember when he came out, how much media attention he got. And how his story was everywhere circulating. Would it have an effect on him? Would it have an effect on him? And then I personally think it had an effect on him because he was the defensive player of the year coming out that year, and he ended up going in the I want to say the 7th round.
It was late.
I think it was the 7th round that he got drafted.
It was real, like almost like towards the last.
It's definitely something that would be frowned upon. It would be held against you. So. And it's a shame. It's a shame that you can't be yourself, You can't be who you want to be, like who you really are, because you're worried about you gonna lose your job. Am I gonna get released from the team because I chose to speak out against a coach who may have said something that I thought personally was not the best thing to say to a group of guys who you sitting and you got some guys who gonna take offense to it. So. It's a business. It's big business. It's a lot of money involved, and people go to full extent to protect their money and whatever else, the name of their brand. It's their brand. So,
you know what I'm saying? But what a lot of young kids, they need to understand is that you want to be a part of these professional organizations, but it's a cost, though. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, I'm free, I'm this and that. You're going to conform if you want somebody's team. You know what I'm saying? So you got to calculate that into, am I willing to do certain things?
It's hard.
You know what I'm saying? We looking at that even with Kaepernick and all this. Like, if you have a cause, it may bump against, that organization or team you might want to be a part of.
And I applaud Cap for the stance he took. He took his stand and he stood by it. He didn't care about the money or nothing like that.
And with which call's still in it?
Eric Reed. He's still in it. He got some strong. He just got a 3-year deal and signed the contract. So it's some strong stuff. But you said one thing that I would like to touch on, and that's conforming. Everybody can't do it.
Yes.
I'm one of those guys who struggle with it. To be honest, like I know I'm not a selfish guy, but I'm just not. I can't just sit back and just accept you want me to be somebody who I'm not to make you and this look good. Nah, I can't do it. And so, like you said, to the young guys, it's a real thing. And a lot of young guys are coming into the league and struggling because they don't understand, like, it's either one way or it's the highway. It's really no gray line. But it's starting to change a little bit, but it's really no gray area. But me, like I said, me personally being one of those guys, it's hard for me to conform to things I don't agree with. If I don't agree with, I want to sit down and have a conversation. Maybe you could get me to change my opinion on it, but 9 times out of 10 you might not. And then there's always a price to pay.
Absolutely.
Behind it.
Absolutely.
What, if anything, are some of your regrets from that experience in the NFL and not being able to openly say what your faith was and just be an impact the way that you may have been if you would have said, you know what, this is my faith and this is how I pray and this is my belief?
I think for me, I think it affected me. It affected my play. It affected everything associated with my NFL career early. Because then later in my career, I was already. Now I don't care. Wherever I go, I'm Muslim. I feel this way. Oh, I can't do that. Or it's Ramadan and we in OTAs. I gotta go. I gotta go pray.
Okay.
Y'all know what's going on. I can't drink the water right now. Whatever. But I gotta go. I gotta pray. And the teams respected that, but I didn't do that early, and I felt like faith is everything. You walk by faith, that's gotta be number one. Gotta be number one. And so by me trying to be accepted and doing what I said I don't do and conform, I lost my faith. And I think that early on in my career, I believe that had I been like I was when it was coming to an end, I'd have been a way better off player, person. I would have made better decisions. Way better off. Those days was not even on the football, like off the football field. It was just as a person. And everybody wanted the NFL. Everybody wanted the money. Everybody wanted but a lot come with it. I remember my mom calling me. I was in Miami. My mother called me. She said, "Khas, like I don't mean to be in your in your stuff or in your business, but you're spending too much money." And I remember thinking to myself, like, man, this is my money. Like,
I'm grown.
It's my money. Like, but then I'm saying, like, if Mom do stepping in and saying it, and I know my financial advisor had told me it already, but I didn't really care what he was talking about. So I'm like, maybe I need to slow down. Like, maybe I need to take a step back. But that's probably the only thing I would say. I try not. I don't have any. I always say I don't have any regrets because it taught me. It's like I learned something from it, so it taught me. But if I could change one thing, it would have just been putting my faith first, and then everything behind it when I was a rookie in the second year and going forward.
So you had this opportunity. You know, you was on a few teams, right, and you kind of moved around a little bit. But then you know, you were in transition, and I believe it was Kansas City was about to pick you up. And then talk about what happened there, because all of a sudden, you know, it was like Khaseem Greene is no longer going to be, you know what I'm saying? So what now? Let's talk about what went down with that.
So what happened was I was a free agent. 2016, I was a free agent. I had got released in September from Detroit. And so I was home, a little bit too much time on my hands, so I was, you know, partying, and I would work out, I sleep all day. I was just trying to find my way, but football wasn't over for me. I just knew I was going to get a call, just didn't know when. And so, in the midst of all of that, I went to a club one night. It was a big party, a big promoter in the city from Elizabeth. It was his party. Went there, regular night, you know, just having fun, chilling. At the end of the night, a guy who knew my dad from being in federal time when it was a bouncer, and he just, you know, it felt a little vibe from the crowd, and I felt it. But again, I'm like the hometown hero, so I don't have nothing to worry. I have nothing to worry about. I party here a million times, never had one problem. So. Anyway, he wanted to walk us out, you know, felt the vibes of the whatever. And I'm like, all right, it's cool, it's whatever, like, we'll walk out with you, not a problem, whatever. As we going outside, he's ahead of us. It's me, my brother, and my cousin behind him, and he gets into something with a dude that he's a big dude in the streets. So they got a situation going on. It just so happened that dude know my dad too from the street. So he like, oh, y'all good? Like he basically trying to help us make sure we good, and we trying to get out of here, but we trying to make sure it ain't nothing between y'all, cause that's my father's friend, and I know who you is. I just don't know you. So I'm like, my brother is playing the defense. I'm on my way. I'm still going. And then,
but it wasn't looking good. The whole situation.
No, it wasn't looking good. And I got my brother. And we going this way, and next thing you know, shots ring out, and you know, people running. You know, after that, now it's sounding like everybody going to defense. And I'm thinking nothing of it. Like, I know I had no involvement. I'm thinking nothing of it. And the next day, I get a phone call from a great friend of mine who's somebody on the police force. And he's basically like, there's a video going around spiraling up at headquarters. I just want to know one thing. Was you at? Yeah, I was there. Okay, some people trying to say this is you, what I'm looking at, but I think this is your brother Bash. And they had a red jacket on. I'm like, no, I had a red jacket on. What happened? And he's like, let me call you back. So I'm like, man, what happened? Like, what could they possibly be trying to say? Because all I did was walk, like I just walked in my car. Like, they called me back the next day and was just like, look, man, they about to issue a warrant for your arrest. They said they got you on video, handing a guy a gun and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? Wow. Like I'm like, are you really telling me this? Like, so I'm like, so I gotta go to jail? That's the first thing I'm thinking, jail. I'm like, so I gotta go to jail? He's like, yeah. But back it up. So at this time, did you have the deal
for Kansas City there? But
I went to Kansas City. That's a good question because nobody ever asked me this. I went to Kansas City in October and worked out for them. They was thinking about their roster heading into the playoffs. Was they going to add a linebacker? Was they not going to add a linebacker? They decided not to add a linebacker, but they told me that they were going to call me back after the playoffs for another workout, make sure I'm still in shape, in better shape, and then I could come. So that's what it was. I knew for a fact that I was going to Kansas City because I killed it. I killed it when I went up there, but I was pretty heavy. I was like 255.
So just a matter of
they just want to see me lose a little bit more weight or whatever, and then they ended up signing a D tackle for the playoff roster instead of a linebacker. So that's what happened with that. So I didn't have the deal yet, but it was in the works. And then that happened, and then they called me and tell me.
How soon after?
Who
did they call you?
Did they call you after
Kansas? How
Kansas
soon?
City. So
that night.
I'm gonna give y'all
that night.
I'm gonna give y'all the exact rundown.
Okay.
I get the phone call January 2nd. January 3rd, he tells me about the warrant. January 4th, I turn myself in. January 6th, I'm released. January 10th, I go back to Kansas City, and we agreed to a futures contract.
Okay.
So now I'm going out there in April. I leave in April. Everything is good. I'm down there for a month, killing it. I look good. The coaches, like, they give me a little praise. All we could do really is work out and then meet for a couple times because of the restrictions. So it's really just t-shirts and stuff like that. May 8th or May 9th, I want to say. I think it was May 8th. Come off the field from conditioning. I do my therapy, do my little work, my prehab and stuff, and I get ready. I get in the car to go to the hotel. My agent called me. He like, yo, you know anything about an indictment? I'm like, no. What are you talking about? He like, yeah, you might want to look into that. Call your lawyer. I call my lawyer. Yo, what's up? What's going on? Anything about an indictment today? What, you heard anything? He was like, nah, I ain't hear anything. Let me make a couple phone calls. Call you right back. Make the couple calls. He called me. Like, yeah, man, you got indicted this morning. So now I'm like, one, how do I get indicted without you knowing? Or not, without me knowing, without anybody knowing, but they find out, like the league finds out before any of us.
Crazy.
Cause they called my agent and told him that they was gonna release me, and they told him why. He ain't tell me that they was releasing me. He only asked me about the indictment. So I get back to the hotel, and now my mind is just spinning. I get back to the hotel, a Kansas City number calling me, so I already know what's going on. And they like, yo, we need you to, we gonna release you. Something's going on back home. We're gonna need you to leave a playbook at the front desk at the hotel. We're gonna find you a flight in the morning. I'm like, yeah, if y'all releasing me and something happened and y'all get me a flight tonight. I don't care about connecting. I don't care about nothing. I do not want to stay here. I don't want to be here thinking about this. Like, get me out of there. So they ended up getting me out of there on a connecting flight or whatever. And then I get back home and it's just like, it's all over. Like the article out in the paper is on NJ.com. It's getting shares. Like people, jumping the gun.
Right,
all
and that's
that
the thing.
stuff.
So now, what was the whole mindset of the people around you? Because nothing was a definite, but now you have people that heard something. So how was the treatment now from the people around you?
It was sickening. It was like, who am I looking like? Who am I? That's kind of where I was at. Like, dang, like who am I? Like from the headlines, you would have thought I was involved in the shooting. You wouldn't even know that they're accusing me of passing a gun. It's Rutgers
running with it. With that
ex-Rutgers star involved in shooting at nightclub. Like.
Cause that sounds good. That sells paper. That sells articles.
What is this? Like,
What that sells?
So am I being charged for being involved in the shooting, or am I being charged for y'all saying I'm passing a gun to somebody? And so that kind of turned me, like everybody went from looking at me from the hero to a monster. That's exactly what I turned into. Like, and that's what I felt. Like when I went around in the city, I walked to the center of the basketball, play basketball, whatever. Like people looking at me, and I know something ain't right, like, cause I know you would have ran up and shook my hand, and been happy to see me before, and now it's kind of like, I don't really know. So,
how did you feel through that? How did you feel emotionally?
I never been that low in my life. Like, I was anxiety, depression, like I disassociated myself from everything. I was in the house, I wouldn't come outside. Finally, I had to get a new lawyer, and then he convinced me. He like kind of got me out of my shell. He like, man, look, I know if you look at me in my eye and telling me you're innocent, then I know you're innocent. I'm gonna fight for you. But I need you to get yourself together, because if you not together, it don't matter about none of this. If you ain't together, nothing's going to come together for you. Like, nothing is going to happen for you. So I started going to, therapy, and I will recommend this. Like, it's something that people don't.
Good for you.
In our community, because in our community, nobody.
You gotta talk. We need a whole session for just that
whatever
right
y'all
there.
want to do.
We need a whole session for just that right there.
No,
to this day,
I go to therapy.
Like Beyonce Wilder said, to this day,
you got like a lot of
every
people.
Thursday.
It's when people mention it, it's just like one of those things.
But it's frowned upon because you get
in the
judged.
black community, especially.
You get judged.
Absolutely.
You think about therapy. You think about the first thing you think about is being crazy.
Exactly.
Oh, you go see a therapist? You crazy?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually smart.
Meanwhile, I'm healthy.
I'm actually healthy. Like, I'm actually making myself feel good.
That's right.
So I start with the therapy, and then I start coming outside a little bit more, and start interacting with kids, and then I start working at a group home. And, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm lying. I do construction, and then I go to the group home, and then I start working at a school.
So you started giving
now
back?
Now I'm starting to put myself in positions where I'm working, and they really don't know who I am, and then somebody be like, yo, you Khaseem Greene? Yeah, like, I've been working here for 3 months and you ain't know that. Right. So, and then I just started feeling a lot better about myself. And then ultimately the case get dismissed, but to no avail. They do it on their own terms. That's what I'm fighting for now. I'm still fighting right now. I'm fighting for expungement off my record. Civil suits out the wazoo.
Yes,
right now.
absolutely.
And then it's unfair. Like, they dismissed it. With cases, you can either get it dismissed with prejudice or without prejudice. One of those ways means you could reopen the case. Right. And that's how they dismissed it, as opposed to dismissing it where you can't reopen it. And the worst part of it all was I wasn't present in court when they dismissed it, and my lawyer wasn't present in court when they dismissed it. They went to chambers. The judge went to chambers with the prosecutor and did a recording to dismiss it, and then they they faxed the papers, the dismissal paper to my lawyer. That's not like, in the system.
That's not the protocol.
That's not the protocol. That's not how you do it. No. Like, how could you have nobody present from this side when you dismiss a charge? Especially if this case is such a magnitude.
It took a lot from your life.
Big case. It took a lot, and you gonna do it like that? Furthermore, they didn't even give my new lawyer, the chance to speak when he was coming. We went to court 3 times. They would not let him get one word in. The 3rd time we went to court, he got kicked out of court, and we both was about to go in handcuffs. Wow. Literally in handcuffs. And it's funny because he just texted me the other day and was like, yo, the judge, I'm not gonna say his name at the time because I don't want no bad nothing on him. He'll get whatever he deserves about whatever he believes in. They just took him off my case. They just took him off the case. My lawyer, my lawyer texted me on Tuesday and said that they took him off the case, and now I got another judge that I got to go in front of this week coming up. So that right there in itself is kind of like somebody admitting something. Y'all admitting that this dude wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Because my lawyer, he's representing me, defending me, and he can't say one word. One word.
So tell me, what is it that you believe happened that your name became the name to be pretty much the fall guy for?
I believe they saw an opportunity. We got an NFL guy from the city of Elizabeth. We got a guy who is known for his crime, his criminal activity and stuff, and he's putting this kid in the position to say that this kid gave him a gun. this is our big come out party. They know they nail him and they nail me. Now it's like woo, you know, you get all the recognition and all the anything for that.
Yeah.
Instead of actually doing your investigation and understanding what was going on, because the dude actually told him he was lying. He literally verbally said this in his verbal statement.
So he did say that you gave him the gun.
He said that I gave him the gun, and then at the end he retracted, and then he recanted his statement. It was like the detectives were basically like, well, you told us that, but that can't do nothing but put him in it. It ain't like we can help you out because you said that. And then he was like, okay, well, since y'all said that, I'm lying. Like, I lied.
Wow.
And then the detective goes on to, you know, just to say like, all right, well, you could take that back at another time. And this is an official statement. And I get that. I get that. It's a statement, it's an official statement, whatever. But then when you go to present this case to the grand jury, how do you not tell them that this guy said that he was lying? Because a grand jury shouldn't indict an innocent man.
So they could just say somebody did something and get arrested for it. He could just say it,
and that's what happened.
Get arrested.
Think about it, and I tell everybody to think about this. They said they had me on video, right? Passing somebody a gun. Why did the video never come out? There's a reason why the video.
And why they
never came
didn't
out.
make them bring that video
why
as evidence then?
Why nobody want to play this video? Because they didn't play it in court either.
Right.
So why nobody want to play this video? I seen the video. And I know why it didn't come out. Because y'all don't have me on camera doing that. Because I did not do that.
Wow.
Like, so it's the system, man, and it's a funny thing, man. It's funny, man, and it's like the people who are in position to we supposed to trust them to make this thing right, or believe in this system, do more corrupt stuff than the people who out here doing stuff.
It's
you know
a
what
job.
I'm saying?
It's a job.
Crazy.
We have to. You don't have to have integrity to work a job. And we can't put faith in because they are the law that they're going to have integrity in that law. You know, because it all means you have to have integrity in doing that job. But with that, tell me a little bit about your thought process on would you make the same decision to go to be in certain environments when you know that there's a possibility of that happening?
If I sat here and said that I wouldn't go to that club again if it was open and none of this ever happened, I'll be lying. And it's just because I feel like it was a part of me, like it was a part of, and like I said, I would just be lying if I said I wouldn't go there because I had been there so many times. And truth, I mean, if I had to do it all over again, but if I knew that was going to happen and I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it. But if I knew, if I didn't know that was going to happen, it was going to be a regular night, I would go there again.
So right now, being that this has happened, would you do something like that again?
I would not do it.
And that's the things that we try to sometimes tell the young folks also. You have to be wise about the decisions that you make. And sometimes it may be something that's known to you. This is where I'm from. This is what I used to do. But sometimes that right there is not going to add to your growth process because it's going to put you in an environment of where you may have to fight or you may have to defend yourself a certain way. And you sometimes has the biggest thing to lose because of your journey and what journey you're on. So we always tell people, think about it. Do I need to go here as bad as I want to go to the next level in the journey and the path that I'm on?
That's true.
That's true. So last thing, what does Khaseem Greene value in life?
Khaseem Greene values, most importantly, his faith, and then his family. Those to me are the two biggest things that I value, because those are the two things that are always going to be true. And when I say family, I mean that real family. Like if you get into something and you need to go sleep on somebody's couch, here go the key. Just make sure you come in before the kids go to sleep. Just the respect of the house. That family. Those are my values.
But you know, we have to talk a little bit more, just a few minutes more, because I really do want to touch on community.
Welcome to Elizabeth, New Jersey for the second annual Khaseem Greene Dream Team Football Camp. Great to have you coming back where you grew up around family and friends helping out. Great day for the kids and community, playing some football. Great food, barbecue, give them a talk, autographs, t-shirts, great time. Good dude. Get down.
going on, everybody? Welcome to my camp, Khaseem Greene. My camp in the hood, you know, giving back to the community, because I love it. I love everybody here. I'm glad y'all a part of this, man. Appreciate you, bro. You already know how it goes, man. It's all
okay. So let's get into this. I remember, you know, us having the pleasure actually to be involved with the camp that you gave downtown. And I mean, and again, we just talked about some things, some unfortunate things and all that. But again, according to our show, Beyond the Bright Lights, we expose things that people do that probably don't get the attention like the other negative things.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we were able to be a part of a camp. Talk a little bit about that camp and you giving back in your community.
And how you felt,
So for me, giving back was always number one. And to no avail, I give credit to my mother. She always valued giving back, or people who weren't as fortunate as you. I remember as a kid, like when I would see homeless people, I would be like, Mom, like what? And my mother used to be like, listen, you know, their situation is a little, you know, less fortunate than ours, and I'm not saying, you know, we got it all, but you know, we got, and so when you see people like that, you know, you ask them if they're hungry. You know, you see if they want something to drink or something. It's just the right thing to do. And with all that being said, me being a professional athlete, I wouldn't even count on my hands how many professional athletes came back and did free camps in Elizabeth while I was coming up, because it didn't happen. I don't know, because we ain't have no professional athletes, but I know we did. Or what, but we didn't have that. So my biggest thing was, how could I give back in a way that it wasn't done. It was unheard of around where in Elizabeth, where I'm from. So me giving back and having a camp, just seeing the faces, or you know, shaking the hands, or seeing the people embrace me, and watching the kids, you know, watching the kids out there running around and having a great time, and just knowing that I'm not asking you for $60 to come, you know, whatever. You know, this is solely being done out of a place in my heart that has a space for Elizabeth and the well-being and the upbringing of the kid, of the youth. So for me, it was everything. Like seeing my mom involved, you know,
your sisters,
you
guys
involved, my sisters, my family, my kids, like councilmen,
there were different people around, Carlos, these people, public figures,
and it was good too, because you had your brother, you had people, your friends, you got your friends to like give back.
I never, besides of course my cousin Muhammad, I didn't, you know, I didn't want to invite NFL guys. And it's funny because some of my cool friends from the league would be like, yo, why you didn't invite me? And I'm like,
this is yours.
You always come do my camp without a problem. And I'm like, I get it, man. Next time, like when it grow and I get the sponsors and I can put you up in the hotel like you do for me, I'll do that. But right now, I got more than enough superstars in my hood, like in my city, that could come out and do it, and be a part of just giving back, and feeling like we did something to like change a kid's life. I mean, I still get kids. I get kids that were kids that are like up here now.
Because what
come
has
up
it
to
been
me
now?
and been
Was
like,
it 4 years? Was it 4 years?
Yeah, I did it. I did it 2014, 2015.
Okay.
And then that was dope. It was 2 years back to back, and then it stopped.
Okay.
Once the incident happened, some things were swirling. People, you know, the eyebrows raised a little bit. I just said I put it on pause, but I'm actually looking to bring it back this year.
Count us in.
Me and my
friends, we'll be there.
We looking to get back into it this year because it's something that's, you know, on not just my heart, but on, you know, my mom or my boys who was involved with it, like you said. So we looking to bring it back this year and then start making it an annual thing. It's good. It's good for the people, and it's a day of fun. Unity. It ain't no problems. Ain't gonna be nothing at the camp. So
absolutely.
And there's nothing like giving back. I say this all the time because, you know, we volunteer, we give our time, we try to do, and you know, our son Travis is like your age, and then we have Keon that's 24. And I was talking earlier when another conversation, I was just talking about how there's always a way of giving back.
Right.
And you know, you can actually have the camp, someone else could say, I'll donate the money for the camp.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Someone else says, I don't have the money, but I could come in and I could be the hands and I could be the feet of the camp. There's always a way of giving back. So whenever I hear someone say, they can't or they don't have the time. Well, do you have the finances?
Right.
You know, can you drop off a couple of cases of water? Can you do that? You know, and I know I have a pet peeve because I'll be like, well, I know you done spent about I don't know how much on 10 shots. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't
you
get me
complain
started.
about the kids, but
don't get me started.
You don't want to do nothing.
But it's the truth, though.
Yeah,
I remember literally when Dion was the head coach at the high school in the football and we were selling those little wristbands and they were like $2 or $3 and they were fundraisers, some of the things, and it was like, how much? Oh, I'm not paying that. I said, but bro, you were on social media talking about how you knocked back 10 or 15 shots. You know what I'm saying? So
you had to get one of those shots.
A couple of them. I pay attention to that because it was you know, someone that he knew from the community too was like, oh, we're rooting for you, da da da, and I was like, you know, that brother didn't pay $2 for a wristband, so he ain't really rooting for you. You get what I'm saying?
Now you can't tell me that you want what you want for me. You want the best for me and for these kids. And you won't give
you won't give $2, but you at the stand buying a hot dog for $5. See, you know, I just, you know, I'm sorry. And then Dion has to listen to me come home and rant and rave about that. But I'm saying, at this stage that we're in now, we still volunteer, but we done slowed down a little bit. We done, you know, and I'm okay. I'm 50 years old now, so my running is going to be just a little bit different. So I'm strategic in how many things I get involved with now, because it's like, okay, you know what, we can donate money, and we can donate one day a month to do that right there. But do you need some money? We could do that, or we could drop things off, because we understand what it's like to not have. We see the young people. Dion came up not having a whole lot of things. So we know firsthand what it means. And our boys was good. So we were able to get out there and do all of that stuff. We can't have them being little hellions running around the street, but yet and still we over here at Khas's camp, or we over here doing all of this, talking all grand, and our kids is over here robbing and knocking people in the heads. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing, because you're a young man and you were in your 20s doing this. You already had that mindset and that heart about you to do that, and that's commendable, Khas. That is commendable for you to do that, and I really mean that. And we've got such a tight bond from working with you, being around you, volunteering, and all of those things. And when all of that mess came out, we could care less because we knew who Khas was.
I don't know if you remember,
who Khas was.
When that was going down and stuff, I sent you a message or something.
Sure I got it still.
And then I was just like, yo, because I didn't even know what really was going on. But I'm just like, Khas, I was like, just keep your head. You know what I'm saying? Things that come out, whatever. I know who you are. Because it's important that you know, like, not everybody going to feed into the media. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and I did the camp with you. I talked to you. I know. I'm just like, listen, you know what I'm saying? Even if that was the case, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I still know you.
That's right. That's right.
And I ain't going to separate what I really know about you. You know what I'm saying?
People make bad decisions.
And that's what we do, because that was the whole, again, the premises here is like, we want to get people on that other people know in one way. But the whole thing is, personally, I know you. So there are people out there that when the bright lights aren't there, they still being who they are. They still finding their purpose in life, and they still giving back. So sometimes people could judge you and say, well, they not this, or they didn't make it to this point, or they didn't whatever. You know what I'm saying? But for you, it's just like, this is probably the happiest point of your life, knowing that I don't have restrictions to fall into place. You know what I'm saying? And you're becoming who you know you're meant to become.
Exactly. I first of all, let me say I am very appreciative, and I do appreciate the both of y'all. Like, I was talking to my mom right before I came here. I'm like, Mom, getting ready to sit down, you know, do an interview with Coach D and Michelle. And she was like, oh, I love them. I love people.
She good people.
Like, my people's here. Let me know how it goes. I can watch that. And I'm like, I'm gonna let you know. But like that at that time, I remember your message vividly. And at that time, it's funny because you really didn't know what was going on. And you said that, you was like, I don't know what's going on. But
I'm praying for you, and
exactly.
I said,
I'm like, it was select few people who really was in my corner in that same way. And sent me messages or called me and was just like, man, we know that, you know, we know who you are. Like, we know that wasn't you. And, you know, just keep your head up. Don't read the newspaper. Like, don't be on the internet.
Right.
And it was like, I appreciate it. I really do. Inside of my heart, I really do appreciate y'all, because it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of people. Like, not a lot of people reached out, but the people who did are the people who matter. And they matter to me the most. So for that, I'm thankful. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
I appreciate this platform too, having me, because this was fun.
Yeah, but you know what?
Really
you that bridge. You're that bridge because, like I told you the other day, it's like we have the younger people and we're getting up there, so the younger people look at us.
We are up there. We are up there.
But you have that. But then, you know what I'm saying? You have that connection where you were taught a lot of things, so you're right there. Your story needs to be heard because it's relatable. It's real. But then you're a real person that's making real decisions. And a lot of times people make it to a certain place and they don't think that me telling both sides, my mistakes and my success is helping. So they don't talk about some of the failures, and those are the things that people need to hear because it's going to keep them. So how could you be in a position where you see these young people keep making mistakes, but you may have the something that'll change them around?
Because we all make bad decisions in life.
Just opening up and
it makes you touchable. It makes you reachable. Because you have a story and you're sharing your story. And like he was saying, we know people and we know their story. We could not sit them down here and have a truthful conversation because they would not want to talk about their poor decisions that they made. Because they're still a prisoner. We had this conversation on the phone. When you are free, you are able to talk, you are able to share. But when you're still in bondage, you can't share your truth. And because of you not sharing your truth, you are hurting other young people who need to hear. So it'll keep them from getting themselves and putting them in bondage. So I really appreciate you sharing just intimate details about your story that people can't Google and they can't find out about you. We really appreciate it. And we know you're going to touch many people's lives from that.
Yeah, I plan to. I'm trying to get a book deal or something. I'm trying to get something because I really got something.
You do, and you speak, and
I want to get it out there. Yeah, definitely, yo.
All right, so it's time for us to close this out. Beyond the Bright Lights, we've had a great visit from our good friend, Khaseem Greene. And hopefully that everyone understands that it's not about, the people when they get into the light, but it's looking at their lives outside of the lights.
That's right.
We got a big message from him, and we appreciate him coming by. And, feel free to reach out to us, and let's just keep this thing going. So for now,
and even you know me, I gotta run my mouth.
She got the last word.
And even with these lights, when we shut these off and these cameras is off, life still goes on. So beyond the bright lights is what it is that you do on your platform. It's what it is you do when you think nobody's watching. When you think that you don't have that, you should always be giving back. You should always be paying it forward. You should always be looking at how I can reach somebody and pull them up. That's no matter what your platform is. So we're thankful, and Dion was about to say, he is
what?
Dion.
I'm Dion.
And I'm Michelle.
And thank you for watching, guys. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.